There's an old story about a farmer on the Atlantic coast who couldn't keep a farmhand no matter what he tried. Nobody wanted this job. I mean, the storms that came off the ocean were just brutal. They tore roofs off barns and sent all the crops literally into the sea. Then one day, a short, thin, older man shows up looking for work. And the farmer asks him, "Are you any good? Can you do all the things that we need to have done around the farm?" And the old man just says a few words that the farmer doesn't really understand at the time, but those words, almost 30 years into doing this job as a retirement planner, I think might be the single best description of what a real retirement looks like. And that thin, small, older man said simply, "I can sleep when the wind blows." Now stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly whether you can sleep when the wind blows in your retirement or whether you're the farmer who's about to get a very rude awakening. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things. 1, the full story and the moment that the farmer finally gets it. 2, we're going to talk about the 5 pillars that determine whether you're actually prepared for retirement or just hoping that things will work out. And number 3, the single question you can ask yourself tonight that will tell you which one you are. So let's get into it. I'm Darren Vilardo, the founder of Techton Wealth Advisors. Thanks so much for checking out another video on our channel. We appreciate you. Okay, so back to our story about the farmer. He's absolutely desperate. Nobody else has applied. So even though the old man's answer actually makes no sense to him, I mean, who answers questions about can you farm with "I can sleep when the wind blows"? The farmer hires him on the spot. And look, for a few weeks, everything's going well. The old man works from dawn to dusk. He's quiet. He's steady. He doesn't say much. He's just a worker. And the farmer is happy. Then one night, the wind really starts howling. It's a rager, right? A nor'easter. And the farmer bolts out of bed, grabs a lantern, runs to the old man's quarters, and he shakes him awake and he yells, "Hey, get up, wake up. There's a storm coming. We've got to tie everything down before it blows away." And the old man rolls over and says calmly, "No, sir. I told you, I can sleep when the wind blows." So the farmer is absolutely furious. I mean, he doesn't know what to do, and he's about to fire him on the spot. But instead, he's so panicked about the storm that he runs outside to deal with everything by himself. And he stops dead. See, because what he finds when he goes outside is that the haystacks, they're already covered with tarps. The cows, they're already in the barn. The chickens, they're in the coops. The shutters are bolted shut. The doors are locked. Every single thing on that farm was tied down, was secured, and was ready. And in that moment, the farmer finally understood that the old man wasn't lazy. He wasn't reckless. He had done the work quietly every single day. And when the skies were clear, so that when the storm came, there was nothing left to do. He had done the preparation in the good times so that he could sleep in the bad times. He could sleep because he was ready. Now, here's why I tell you that story. To almost every couple who walks into the office, I share the same story, the same situation, because the truth nobody wants to say out loud is this. Do you think during your retirement there's going to be some storms? Yeah. The storms in retirement are coming. Nobody knows when. Not me, not you, neither does the smartest person on Wall Street. There's going to be a significant market correction, maybe more than one. There's going to be a spike in inflation, maybe more than one. There's going to be a change to the tax laws that nobody saw coming. And unfortunately, there's likely going to be a health event. And there's probably going to be the loss of a spouse. And I don't say that to be pessimistic or fear-mongering, but I'm talking about what happens and what we see happen again and again to our clients during a 30-year retirement. So the question isn't, will the wind blow? The question is simply, when it does, are you the farmer running around in the dark, or are you the one who gets to sleep? Now, the people who get to sleep, they all have just a few things in common. I'll call them the 5 pillars. And this is what we build for our clients every single time. The 5 pillars that allow you to sleep. Pillar number 1 is income that you can count on. When the market drops significantly, 20, 30%, your grocery bill doesn't care. Your mortgage doesn't care. Your lifestyle doesn't care. If your income depends on selling investments at the worst possible moment, guess what? You're the farmer in the storm. We build retirement income that shows up whether the market is up, down, or sideways. The haystacks are already covered. Now, pillar number 2, of course, is a tax strategy. One that's based on your tax timeline, not the IRS's. Here's something most people never hear. The biggest storm in retirement for most families isn't the market. It's the tax bill they never saw coming. Required minimum distributions, taxes on Social Security, taxes on the surviving spouse and increases there. These are storms you can see on the radar years, literally years in advance. So we'd rather deal with them now on our terms while the skies are clear instead of panicking when the wind picks up and these things happen in the future. Pillar number 3, protection against what actually sinks retirements. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost never the stock market that ruins a retirement. It's long-term care and increased healthcare costs. It's sequence of returns risk in the first 5 years. It's losing a spouse and watching the tax bracket double overnight. The barn door gets locked before the storm, ladies and gentlemen, not during. Pillar number 4, we believe it's critical to have a written plan, not just a portfolio. Those statements from your 401k or your IRA, that is not a retirement plan. That is simply a portfolio. This is the one that most people miss. A pile of investments is not a strategy. A strategy is knowing exactly what happens in what order, no matter what the market does. When you have a written plan, the headlines stop running your emotions. The market's mood stops dictating yours. And this is the big one. Your spouse stops asking, are we going to be okay? Because the answer is already on paper. Now, I want to clarify here, when we talk about planning, we're talking about an ongoing process. It's not a one and done printed, here's your binder. That's not how it works. Planning is the framework that allows you to make informed, smart decisions when life happens, when the wind blows. A plan is ever evolving, it's flexible and dynamic, but it is a strategy and a framework that allows you to be in charge when the wind blows. Now, let's talk about pillar number 5. It's often overlooked, and that is simply your legacy or your estate. Now, maybe you want to spend your last dollar on your last day, or maybe you want to leave something to your children or even your children's children. But what you don't want to do is leave a huge mess for your family to try and decipher and clean up, or to leave a big tax liability so that the IRS ends up with more of the money that you worked and saved for than your family does. So having a proper, well thought out, well documented estate plan is a critical pillar to a plan that will let you sleep when the wind blows. And it's going to, as we've said. Now, here's the question I want you to sit with today. Here's the question I promised you at the outset. Ask yourself tonight, ask yourself this tonight. If the market dropped 30 or 40% next Monday morning, would your retirement plan still work? If the market dropped significantly, flash crash we had back in 1987, whatever the cause, right? Global conflict, would your retirement still work? If the answer is, I think so, or I'm not sure, or I'd have to talk to my advisor, maybe give him a call, check in, see what he thinks or says, then I have some bad news for you. And that news is simply that you are the farmer in the story. You're not prepared. You're just hoping that the storm is delayed, that the storm isn't quite as severe, perhaps, right? And if your answer is yes, and I can tell you exactly why, then congratulations, you can sleep when the wind blows. My belief is the vast majority of you are saying, no, Darren, I'm really not sure. Or I think I'm sure, but I'm not 100% positive. So the reality is I've been doing this for a very long time. And I'll tell you something that took me years to figure out. I'm talking about years to figure out. You see, the goal of retirement planning isn't the biggest return. It isn't the flashiest portfolio. It isn't beating the market. The goal, ladies and gentlemen, for retirement planning is sleep. It's a retirement where when the wind blows, and it will blow, you don't even get out of bed. That's what we build for our clients here at Tech Wealth. If we do our job right, you'll barely notice the storm at all. So, if this story hit home and you want to find out whether your plan would survive the next storm, then hey, head on over to techtonwealth.com, put a comment below, reach out. We'd love to have a real conversation with you. No pressure, no pitch, just a clear look at whether you're actually prepared or you're just hoping. And if you got value out of this, then please do me a favor, hit subscribe, because every week we're putting out videos that help you become the kind of retiree who sleeps when the wind blows and who can live your best life in retirement. Thank you so much